Hello and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon here in Seoul. Filling in for Handan this week, I'm Mark Broom. Our top story this afternoon, President Park Geun-hye is set for talks with US President Barack Obama in the coming hours. The South Korean leader will meet with Obama ahead of the start of the ASEAN Summit in Laos. Our Song Ji-son starts us off.
After agreeing to reinforce strategic communication with Russia and China on the North Korean issue, President Park will sit down with U.S. President Barack Obama soon after she lands in Laos on Tuesday, and with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe the next day, sending a united message to Pyongyang from all the members of the six-party denuclearization talks.
북한이 핵을 포기할 수밖에 없도록 만들려면 북한에 단호하고 일치된 메시지를 보내는 것이 무엇보다 중요합니다. 우리 정부는 북한이 핵을 포기하고 개방과 협력의 길로 나온다면 국제사회와 함께 적극 지원할 것입니다.
Following the multilateral summit, President Park will seek support through bilateral talks with Laos, a socialist state close to North Korea, and the chair for this year's ASEAN Summit.
At events like the East Asian Summit, the best strategic forum in the region that's attended by the leaders of ASEAN, the US, China, Japan, and Russia, President Park will call on the world to send a strong message that North Korea's nuclear program cannot be tolerated. We must continue to cooperate to help Pyongyang make the right choice.
At her last stop of Vientiane, Laos for the ASEAN Summit, President Park will continue her call to implement the UN sanctions to pressure North Korea and to boost job creation and growth through open trade. Song Ji-son, Arirang News, Hangzhou.
The UN Security Council will hold an emergency meeting on Tuesday to discuss North Korea's latest ballistic missile launches. UN officials in New York say South Korea, the US and Japan jointly requested the meeting. North Korea's firing of 3 Nodong medium-range missiles off its east coast came just 12 days after its launch of a submarine-launched ballistic missile. Following the strong denouncements out of Seoul and Tokyo, the US State Department has also strongly condemned Monday's launches, expressing concern North Korea's provocations are happening on an increasingly regular basis. At the National Assembly, following up on its 3-day policy speeches, the main opposition Minjoo Party of Korea laid out its policies for Parliament's new regular session. There, the party's newly elected chief gave all she had on the importance of revitalizing the local economy. Shin Se-min with the details.
Her speech painted a dire picture of the country's economy. Korea's main opposition, Minjoo Party of Korea's new leader Choo Mi-ae stressed the need to breathe life into the local economy, taking issue with President Park Geun-hye's current economic policies. Calling for change, the new Minjoo leader proposed an emergency economic meeting of the major parties and the president, saying they all need to come together to remedy the current economic situation, which has seen growth stuck in the 2%. Chu said the government has not done enough to improve the livelihoods of the people.
The current economic paradigm focused on conglomerates should change to help ordinary people instead. Entering the 4th year of the current administration, this is the last chance the government has to save the local economy.
Concerned that neglect of the country's snowballing household debt could bankrupt the nation, Chu called on the president and the prime minister to directly take care of the issue themselves. Chu also criticized the government's plan to deploy the U.S. missile defense system THAAD, calling it useless.
Diplomatically speaking, this advanced missile defense system has the potential only to make our partners, namely China and Russia, to turn their backs on us.
Her comments on THAAD mark a significant change in stance for the Minjoo Party, which had previously been more or less neutral on the issue. Looking ahead, the opposition party leader promised that in the 20th National Assembly, she'll work to get rid of political divisions within and amongst parties, starting with her own Minjoo Party, and work to become a model of rational politics. Shin Se-min, Arirang News.
Now, Hanjin Group says it plans to provide roughly $90 million to prop up its failing shipping arm and stave off a logistics crisis caused by its slide into bankruptcy protection. The group says the decision was made to minimize the fallout for trading firms, with 40% of the money coming from the group chairman's private assets. Hanjin says it's formed an emergency task force to handle the loading and unloading of ocean freight and is seeking other ways, such as flights, to deal with urgent cargo. Earlier in the day, the government and ruling party agreed to extend low-rate loans worth roughly $90 million to the shipper on the condition its parent company provides collateral, as well as help the company obtain stay orders in over 40 countries to protect its ships from seizure and to secure entry rights at ports. Well, that's all we have for now. Do stay tuned to Arirang TV. We'll be back with our next newscast at 6 p.m. Korea time, slightly under 3 hours from now. So until then, goodbye.